Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of Talks for the People. We're gonna go ahead and wing this one. We getting started right away. No bullcrap this week. Cody, tell us what's burning your biscuits.
All right, guys, I got a couple of good ones this week. So this weekend, and actually they both revolve around Walmart. Coincidentally, I was in Walmart a lot this weekend. All right, so what burns my biscuits is I'm in Walmart yesterday, and I get the squeegees. Okay, and Walmart is not a good place to get the squeegees. I don't know how many bathrooms y'all been in Walmart, but it's not good.
They're not usually the cleanest places.
Right. So I go in there, and luckily the big stall is open, my favorite, right? And you gotta have room to sprawl out.
And it's got the handles for power squeezing.
Right.
That's it.
That's right. I'm that guy. If that's open, I'm going in there. So anyway, I go in and I immediately see the problem. So whoever has designed this stall, I don't know if that's a thing or not, if it's a stall designer. Anyway, whoever has constructed this stall has put the toilet paper dispenser right next, like knee high, next to the toilet. So when you sit down, you can't sit normal. You have to sit side saddle on the toilet. Have y'all ever run into that? Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
I haven't.
Y'all have never been in a bathroom where they put
No.
the toilet roll dispenser so close to the toilet. And it's not just that, it's more like the wall is that close to the toilet as well, but it's like in your legs. So you either sit with your legs like this,
No.
whatever, and or you sit side saddle.
No, see, when you brought this topic up in our pre-show meeting, I thought you were referring to what I've experienced. Is sometimes I need the power squeeze in when I'm out in public, and I go into that stall, and the toilet paper, they give you room. It's for a wheelchair to fit in there, but the toilet paper's on the big side. So sometimes, you got to get up and like hope your butt cheeks don't clamp back together and smush all the crap back in because you got to go to the other side of the stall to get the toilet paper. That's what I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about it is all up in your business. It is in the way.
Well,
It,
I tell you,
it,
I mean,
it is impairing my ability to get through with my issue.
well, there's a good thing. If you had the squeegees, your issue wasn't going to last long.
Well,
But
that is
on-
true.
I've never encountered it being that close to the side. But I will tell you, there's a bathroom at work that the door is so close to the toilet, you headbutt the door trying to sit down on the freaking toilet.
Is that the toilet that rocks like a
Yeah, well, it's not even on the floor. It's like, oh wait, okay, I guess I meant to sit like this. But yeah, like for real. There's only two ways to sit down. It's just straight up and down, which you feel like you're gonna break the toilet out of the wall, or you slowly do it and you end up headbutting the freaking door to sit down.
There's no repair in that toilet. That just needs replaced. That's got many a miles on it.
I believe it, buddy.
So anyway, my other thing that's burning my biscuits this week was we were in Walmart this morning again, and we're walking down the aisle, and this I hear this noise behind us, and we're walking through the dairy section, so the cheese, the eggs, the milk, and everything. And I get out of the way, and this guy is pushing this buggy, or not a buggy, but this big tray. He's an employee. He's got this big. I'm sure y'all have seen them before. It's like a big silver
The push cart with like
thing.
the
Yeah, it's
egg,
like
yeah.
for stalkers, right? It's
Right.
got like hold all this stuff on there. He is up my butt. So I get out of his way, and he just zooms on by. I'm like, "Hey, what- what's what is wrong with you?" And
The-
and then as I'm going through the store, I noticed that some of the rudest people now in Walmart are Walmart employees shopping. Have y'all noticed that? These people have no remorse. I thought Black Friday shoppers were bad. these employees are bad. I'm like, you're getting paid to shop. Why are you in such a bad mood and being so rude? I mean, it's terrible. Have y'all had any
Are
problems
you
with that?
talking about like the shipped it like Walmart proper employees, or like the are you saying like the Walmart pickup
Yeah.
groceries, the
The
ones?
employees go out and get your groceries for you.
Yeah, so
Go
I
through
agree
there.
with that 100%. And I tell you what, I it's simple courtesy, but a lot of them don't put any courtesy into where they put that thing. They will literally stop it in the dead center of the aisle to pull something off the shelf. It's like, yo, it's literally designed wide enough for a left and a right, just like on a street. One goes this way, the other goes this way. But they will see a bag of chips and they'll stop that cart right in the middle of the aisle. And I'm like, lady, hey, put it to the side. It's so inconsiderate.
I don't know. I thought that like I said, I thought the shoppers were bad, but the employee shoppers are worse.
I
And you're
agree.
getting paid to do it. I mean, enjoy yourself. I mean, you could be outside in the cold getting buggies.
Yeah. And luckily I haven't run into that yet, but I don't go to the store that often. But I'll tell you, man, I've got a Burns My Biscuits, and it upset me for two reasons. Number one, because I was really looking forward to this, and number two, it's because it has to do with something else that I promised on the podcast that is now going to take at least another week to fulfill. So this one goes out to somebody who's usually overall pretty good, but this week Amazon has burned my biscuits.
Oh,
We were going, and I told my wife about what we were doing on the podcast, and about the video with the Carolina Reaper, and people don't want it to be seen. I don't. With rethought about it, I really don't want to dig up that old video. We wanted to do something new, but we were looking, and my wife Jamie, she found the bottle of Da Bomb Beyond Insanity on Amazon. $14, free shipping because she's got Prime. So she ordered it for me. It was going to be an early Christmas gift. Go ahead and give me that so I can share it with y'all, and we can, pass it around work and get people's expressions, see how that goes. Y'all want to know? And the hot sauce showed up at my house yesterday, Saturday afternoon. She had ordered it like Thursday, like 2 day shipping, Prime. Great. The people at the Amazon warehouse that shipped us this stuff shipped it in one of those plain ass bubble pack envelopes. So what arrived at my house was a Amazon bubble pack of hot sauce in shattered glass.
whoa.
No.
Like, that's
Did you get
it. No. Now here's the thing. Here's the second part of the story. So luckily, I know y'all don't know my wife, but these two I've described them. Steven's actually met her, and Cody I've told about her. My wife can get things done with customer service.
Karen?
She'll take care of it, and she'll get her way, or she ain't getting off the phone. She'll take care of it. So we're getting it resolved. Hopefully they refunded the whole thing. We're getting another bottle. Hopefully they pack it right this time, because I want to follow through on what I said, and apparently ordering that sauce right now is the only place to get it. There's no place local that I can just walk into a store and get it. Even the local place that I thought sold it is mail order only, so I have to order it. Like, even though the place that sells it local is literally 30 minutes from my house, which is another thing that burns my biscuits. I can't drive 30 minutes away and go pick this crap up. I have to order it from you off your website. But anyway, so we just so happened to be watching a few episodes of Hot Ones after this was going on, because Daniel Radcliffe was on the newest episode, which, by the way, for a Brit, he took the wings of death like a champ. You could tell at some points he was hurting, but he didn't show it. I've seen big bad rappers and MMA artists crumple under the bomb and the last dab. Daniel Radcliffe handled it like a champ, all 10 sauces.
Nice.
And then we were watching Dan Levy, who, if you don't know, is from the show Schitt's Creek. He's Eugene Levy's son. He's been in a lot of stuff, and let me tell you, that man inherited his dad's eyebrows, and there ain't no denying whose son he is.
That's the truth.
He wasn't as strong as Daniel Radcliffe. We'll just put it that way. By Sauce 4, he was in trouble, and you knew he was in trouble. And I say all that to get to my final point. I wanted my reaction to Da Bomb, because I've never tasted it. I want it to be pure. I did not want it to be tainted. I did not want to have any inclination of what's coming. So my wife did rub a little bit of the inside bag, and she tried it, which was a mistake for her. she was not a happy camper for about the next 30 minutes. But I did not taste it. I don't want to taint my initial reaction. I don't want it to be fake. I want it to be real when we do this. So I did not taste it.
Going back to Daniel Radcliffe, do you think it's possible that he is Harry Potter? I mean, do you think he used a spell to be able to ward off the pain?
I don't know. He might have. He handled it like there's only been one or two other people I have seen handle the wings of death, quote unquote, with a straight face like that. And the main one that sticks out to me is Michael Cera. Michael Cera went hardcore on those wings of death. Like another one that almost seemed to enjoy every flavor. He went hardcore on them. But there's been very few people that hit numbers 8, 9, and 10 like a champ the way he did. He took it.
I'm positive that he called Hermione and got a spell out. He's a cheater.
That's one person who has not been on that show yet, and I want her to be. I want to see how she handles the wings. Which, by the way, let me tell y'all something. This is just a side note. I just now thought of this. I don't know if y'all. I've shown you two a few clips of Hot Ones. I don't know if y'all have watched any episodes by himself, but can I just say that Sean Evans is one of the best interviewers interviewing celebrities in existence today, and I mean that wholeheartedly. If you want to see an interview with somebody that you appreciate, that you like, that you're a fan of, but you don't want to hear them answer the same 50 questions they've been answering for the past 20 years, and you know the answer to them, go just see if they've done an episode of Hot Ones. I don't care. Anybody. See if they've done an episode of Hot Ones. Chances are they probably have. And sit there and watch it. Their episodes usually run between 25 and 35 minutes. I guarantee you'll hear questions asked that even the celebrities themselves have never had asked. If I had a nickel for every single time they said, "How did you know about that? How did you find out about that? Man, you really did your research." I mean, he impresses the celebrities. He asks questions. The Undertaker, I don't watch wrestling anymore, but for those of you that do watch wrestling or are familiar with wrestling, The Undertaker retired from WWE, from wrestling in general, after 30 years with the WWE. That does not include his time in WCW and the indie circuit. He retired after 30 years with the WWE. I watched this man over 25 years ago on the very first episode of Monday Night Raw. I was a big fan of The Undertaker while I was a fan of wrestling. And I have seen numerous interviews, numerous documentaries, and I learned new stuff about him in this interview with Sean Evans.
Awesome.
So,
hey, on that same note with The Undertaker, I just finished watching the Last Ride series. It's like 5 parts or so.
right?
It's really good. I recommend anybody that enjoys that old wrestling from the 90s. That obviously included the Undertaker. It's an excellent documentary. It's 5 parts. They're all about 50 minutes long, so you can knock it out in an afternoon or over 2 nights. But highly recommend it. It's excellent.
And the Hot Ones episode, man, you can find that he has actors and actresses. He had Matthew McConaughey on just recently this season. Actors, actresses, rappers, rock stars. He's had Gordon Ramsay on. He's had Mayor of Flavortown himself, Guy Fieri, on. He everybody. If he's famous, if they're famous, they've been. It's almost getting to the point where you're not famous if you haven't been on Hot Ones. Maisie Williams was on Hot Ones. They've had go check out Hot Ones. Your favorite celebrity, one of your favorite celebrities, I don't care who you are listening, somebody you appreciate and like watching has been on Hot Ones, and you need to go watch the interviews. They're great. Anyway, we're still in Burns My Biscuits. Steven, what's lighting you up this week?
So this is almost comes to today's youth, like I believe Cody had brought up last week or the week before. And I think that with today's youth, along with social media and everything going on, people have gotten comfortable talking about people without having any repercussions or care about how other people are treated. And something that really burns my biscuits right now is someone's ability to dislike somebody or to slander somebody, but not have the common courtesy of reaching out to talk with them face to face about it. They would rather make a post about it and say, "Oh, such and such did this." Well, could be true, could not be true. Even if it is true, if I had a problem with one of y'all, I would give you a call and say, "Hey, man, so here's the deal. The other day this happened. I wasn't too fond of it. I would appreciate if you never did it again." But I think it's more disrespectful than the original act, in my opinion, to get on Facebook and, "Oh man, such and such is such a jerk. He did this, this, and this," and put out his business to everybody else.
Right.
And it's really eating me up right now about how a lot of people can get online and post whatever they feel, but not have the respect to talk to somebody face to face or personally about it. So it's disrespectful. It's not courteous at all. I wish people would stop doing it. And 90% of the time, it might form an argument of some sort face to face or over a phone, but it will get resolved and you will feel better about the situation knowing that you've talked to them directly instead of he said, she said, which happens most of the time. So it drives me up the wall that people do that. It's more respectful. Just reach out to them, find out, let them know what you think. And then it kind of leads to one of the favorite quotes I've seen recently. I couldn't tell you who started the quote, but the quote is, "If you have a problem with me, call me. If you don't have my number to call me, you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me."
Got a point.
And it's really that simple. I mean, if someone had a problem with me, I open them to call me. I feel like I'm a good listener. I'll listen to what you have to say. It might agitate me, but I'll listen to what you have to say, and then we can duke it out, whatever needs to get done. If you don't have my number, chances are you going off of information that didn't come from me.
Right.
So if people could be more respectful, I think the world would be a better place. So it's really burning my biscuits that a lot of people are going the back end around places to say what they have to say instead of going to the source.
Yeah, that does nothing but cause more problems in the long run too. I mean, don't and let's call a spade a spade. If you got a problem with somebody, don't be a little baby back bitch and go post stuff on social media about them. You need to have the balls to discuss it with them face to face. If you've got a real problem with them and you're not just a damn drama queen, then go talk to the person face to face.
And honestly, it's not even about face to face. It's just don't do it indirectly. Don't.
I count direct
I don't
messages.
mind if it's a text. I don't mind if you send me a messenger on Facebook. I don't mind if you call and leave a message. Face to face is obviously the most because you won't have any discrepancy. There won't be like, "Well, I thought you were feeling this." It's like, "Well, you didn't interact with me, so you were guessing, you were assuming." Face to face is always going to be your best bet. I know it's hard sometimes, but as long as you reach out to me directly instead of making a post about it and say, "Hey, share this with his friend so he knows about it." Oh, that's rubbish. Get that out of here. Get out of here.
That stems from these people that sit at home all day and just troll people on social.
Keyboard warriors.
That's all they do. Sit in their parents' basement on the computer and they get on there and they just attack people all day. It doesn't matter what opinion you have. They're just gonna attack you and try to rile you up. And it doesn't matter what you say,
Yep.
what kind of defense you come up with. It doesn't matter. You just got to let them go.
Yep.
Those people are like little ants.
Look,
Yep. I've always called them keyboard warriors. I mean,
Look.
they do all their attacks with their keyboard, but if you ever run out to them out in public, 90% of the people that do that will try to avoid you or ignore you, or I don't have time for you. They will avoid the situation at all costs.
Look.
Look, I got a good example of that. And this was in person. This was face-to-face stuff. I was refereeing a youth football game a few years ago, and we was leaving the game, and this guy was following us. Youth football now was following us coming up the ramp, going out of the stadium. He's just giving it to us. I can hear him the whole way up through there. Well, he was walking faster than we were. Well, when he got up there level with us, he shuts up. He doesn't say a word. We get through the gate. I'm like, hey, you got something to say? No. He just kept on walking. I'm like, you're a little bitch.
Right.
It's like you're gonna talk all that shit behind me, and then when you get up here next to me, no.
What?
Look,
these people got no backbone, man.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 100%. All right. So it got pointed out to me that both of my co-hosts have told numerous stories, and I'm yet to tell stories from my past. There has been very good reason for that. I was not a good person in my past. and most of the stories, even if I could remember them, could still potentially get me in a lot of trouble.
Statute of limitations are still out.
So I was thinking about different things I could talk about, because we've got some people, we appreciate all of our listeners. A few people have pointed out that I haven't told anything, and we want to make everybody happy. So what I have done is I have dug back to my past, and I did have a little piece of my life where I was lucky enough, and if you're watching this episode and you see me looking down a lot, I had to write these down. But I did go through a little piece of my life where I did get to partially live a dream, and that was working for 2 different music venues where I got to do stage managing and sound production. So I got to meet a lot of bands. So we're going to go over a few of my stories from my time working with professional bands. First one ties into why I don't have a lot of stories. First time I ever got to see Sick Puppies, I was very excited. Number one, because I like their music. They're a good band. I like their music, and their bassist is very hot. Very, very hot. Australian girl that plays bass. I mean, I like female musicians, and she's got the accent. I mean, it's a double whammy. But I pregame a little too hard. This is while I'm working at 5 Points Music Hall, and so I was drinking basically for free. And that night, Sick Puppies were playing at Zydeco, which, if you're familiar with Birmingham's South Side, about 5 blocks apart between 5 Points Music Hall and Zydeco. So I'm pre-gaming at the music hall, pre-game a little too hard. By the time Sick Puppies take the stage, I'm 10 sheets to the wind. I'm sitting there falling on the stage, trying to get too close. I'm front row. And their tour manager comes up to me and the people with me. He's like, "Man, you gotta get him straight, or we're gonna have to ask him to leave. We don't like to kick people out, but he can't keep falling on the stage like that." And I'm a lovey drunk, so I'm trying to hug him. "I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It won't happen again." And I'm causing a scene. The band's still playing. The band's in the middle of a song. We make it through that night. Everything's good. But that man was not my biggest fan. So we will fast forward about a year. I'm now working at a club called Fire in Jackson, Mississippi. And we book sick puppies.
Surprise.
So sick puppies tour bus arrives. And guess who the first person off that bus is that day? That same damn tour manager. Who thankfully doesn't have a freaking clue who I am. So I've cleaned up my act. I'm working. Not completely cleaned up my act. I was still working at a bar and drinking for free, but I was better. It was daytime. We were loading in, but it was great. I got to properly meet the bassist. Got to help load her gear in, set her gear up. It was great being a bassist myself, getting to see an actual touring grade rig, set it up, help mic everything. And at the end of the night, it's one of the things that you kind of come to regret that you didn't take the opportunity. But at the time, I just didn't feel like it was the right time to do it. Long story short, tour manager ended up loving me. Turns out they did not have a stage manager for that tour and didn't know if their current stage manager was going to be coming back. And the guy who just a year earlier had nearly kicked me out of one of their shows told me that if I was ever interested in joining them on the road, that I should just give him a call. He gave me his card, and he was willing to put me on that tour. He said he would meet me at any of the next couple stops if I wanted to take him up on it. And I never did. So that's Sick Puppies. Another cool story. This one's not near as long. Just a few fun facts. I did get to meet Gwar. I don't know how many of y'all or anybody listening actually knows who Gwar is. But they're the ones who love to shoot goo and spray all over the crowd, like
in St. Ozzy?
Yeah, but it's green and red, and like they have these animatronics come out, and they've got these big. Now, if you ever go see Gwar, you don't have to worry. What they do is they basically take Crayola marker ink and put it in like 50-gallon pressure tanks of water, so it's not gonna ruin anything. But like they'll have they did this skit at this particular show. It was still when Michael Jackson was still getting heavily accused of diddling the kitties, and so they came out. They had Michael Jackson puppet dancing, moonwalking across the stage, and the lead singer Oderus Urungus came out there, cussing him out and calling him all kinds of horrible things, and then they took a big, massive sword. They chopped Michael Jackson's head off. Blood shoots out of his neck, and it's going all over the crowd. Luckily, I was side stage. I was running monitors for Gwar. I was running monitors. We usually got help for security at our heavier shows that we knew were going to get rowdy. And we had these young kids. I'm talking probably between the ages of 16 and 21 that wanted to work security. Which security at those, I mean, we still had proper security if any like fights or anything broke out. But security for front of the stage is mainly, catching crowd surfers. We put all of them at the front of the stage. After that show, they were covered. Their hair was soaking wet, blood running down fake blood running down their face. It was excellent. I actually managed to stay completely clean that entire show until we were cleaning up the next day. Fun fact I just remembered. Remember I told you they had 50-gallon tanks. Notice I'm saying tanks of water. Well, this was an old car garage is what this club was in. So to clean up after a Gwar show, it's really easy. We took really big squeegees and pulled the hose pipes in there and just washed everything out the door.
That makes sense.
The next door neighboring business who closes every day at 5 o'clock, so the concerts don't mess with them, but they open real early. They had no clue who Guar was, what kind of show Guar puts on. All they know is they get into work the next day and there's blood running down the street, so they call the cops.
Nice. Nice.
They see all this blood running out of our door, so our owner has to run up and explain to the cops what's going on. He's showing them videos on YouTube of Guar perform. This is what happened last night. We're good.
Nice.
That was fun with Guar. Another big one. This one might hit home with Cody. The year was 2010. This is very important to remember. The year was 2010. We book an artist named Brantley Gilbert. I'm sitting here thinking, who the hell is Brantley Gilbert? And why are we booking him for a 1,200 capacity room? Because you know me, I've never heard of him. Nobody else could possibly have heard of him. You know how I am. It gets to be show night. This show is sold out. There's people lined up for 3 blocks trying to get into this show. Turns out these people knew what was up and coming. Brantley Gilbert is a cool guy, puts on a cool show. I got to meet him several times after that. Once was a very chance encounter at a radio station that was in the same building that I worked in, and he remembered who I was, remembered working with me at Fire. Brantley Gilbert, really cool guy. Country music's still not my favorite, but Brantley Gilbert is the new... Brantley Gilbert's the modern day Garth Brooks in all the best ways. He may be country, but he's rock and roll. Brantley Gilbert's good. Another quick story is I did get to run sound for Smile Empty Soul. You know the song Bottom of a Bottle? That was the other regret I have is Smile Empty Soul went on that tour without a sound guy. And they had been getting screwed every night. Number one, it was their fault. They didn't take a sound guy on tour with them. But they had been getting screwed. Their tour manager came to me. He's like, look, lead singer, I can't think of his name right now, just wants to make sure he cares that the audience can hear his vocals. As long as they know he's playing guitar, he just wants to make sure they can hear his vocals. Well, that's also one of my pet peeves. So I did a very good job that night. Did get offered to go on tour also with Smile Empty Soul. Both of these things happened in the same year. Also turned that one down.
Yep. Did it happen a third time? That could have been your hint.
It did not happen a third time. We're
Never
gonna
reached that third time's a charm.
now for a fun one and a shout out to somebody that I'm not the biggest fan of his band currently, but I have a lot of respect for the guy and how he handled this situation. We were at Club Fire and we were having an outdoor concert. Big outdoor concert. When I say, I mean, like we had to pack the parking lot outdoor stage. We had the full, massive sound system rented come in. We were having people like Papa Roach, Lacuna Coil. Who else played that show? We had a whole bunch of people. Fuel played that show. And a little band, might have heard of them. Five Finger Death Punch. That's right. Five Finger Death Punch played this show. Now, keep in mind, this is when I thought they were still good. This was around second album territory. I was a fan. And the tour manager, in his defense, I was working security for this show. They told us we need extra front of stage security. And so I got chosen to be one of the people in front of the stage. And I think it was during the song The Bleeding. The tour manager said, all right, during the song The Bleeding, Ivan's going to get up there and he's going to tell the crowd that if they want to shake his hand, now is their chance. You've got 3.5 minutes to come shake my hand. So,
nightmare.
Keep in mind, the indoor was a 1,200 person cap. We've probably got 4,000 people in this parking lot. And he just told 4,000 people to crowd surf. Now, before this happens, and why I do have respect for Ivan. I know the man's had his issues. I know he's worked on them. I can't speak for him now. I haven't followed him in a long time. But I do have respect for the man because before he did this song, before he even told the crowd what he was doing, he looked out at the crowd and he said, friends, family, these guys down here in front of me, and pointed at all of us security guys. He said, these guys are not your enemy. They are here to protect you and to make sure you stay safe. I do not want any of y'all to do anything to hurt any of them. And then he said, now likewise, security. And he snapped his fingers. He said, hey, security, turn around. Because we had all been told, we don't look at the band. You know, if somebody fell over that barricade while we're watching the band, our ass was going to get chewed out. So he said, everybody turn around. He talked to us. He said, those people out there, those are my fans. Those are my friends. Those are my family. They are not here to hurt you. You do not hurt them. And he told the crowd, he said, I got one last rule. He said, I want to shake everybody's hand possible, but this is going to take a team effort. We have talked to these guys beforehand. When this song kicks in, it's go time. Y'all start bringing it immediately, but as soon as your feet touch the ground, as soon as you slap my hand, you get out of the way. It went off without a hitch. We probably caught 300 people in 4 minutes coming over that barricade. I mean, I'm talking, you know, the line of how wide do you think a live performance stage is, Cody? 20 feet, 30 feet wide?
At least.
Yeah, if not 50 or more. But anyway, we caught 300 to 400 people crowd surfing in in the span of this song, "The Bleeding," and it went off without a hitch. It was a lot of fun.
Impressive.
I'll start wrapping a few of these things up. Funny story. We had the Used at 5 Points Music Hall. And now keep in mind, our main security at 5 Points Music Hall, we had some off-duty cops. We only used two. They were our cops. They both worked day shifts. Whenever we had concerts, we paid them to come in and work with us. Cool as crap, man. They would drink with us after the shows. You know, they were off duty. They were awesome. But they got there beforehand, and we had the Used playing, and they were watching the back door, you know, doing their job. And they started smelling this funny smell leaking out of the windows of the bus. You know, that happy grass, you know. So they went and knocked on the door and told the band that they had to that they weren't going to come on the bus and confiscate anything. They're not there to do that, but they're going to have to cut it out. They can't have it coming off the stage. So that apparently didn't sit well with the Used, and they waited till their encore, and one cop that had talked to him was on an elevated standing section overlooking the crowd, you know, with the flashlight to point stuff out. Hey, quit doing that. You know, you've seen security at concerts. The other cop was standing by the speaker stack, and the Used said, hey, you guys want to hear a funny story? And, you know, the crowd's, yeah, woo. He said, this mother effer right here and this mother effer over here doesn't like the fact that we smoke weed before we play. What do y'all think about that shit? And, you know, the whole crowd's just, boo, you know. And he said, well, we decided to add a special song to our set list tonight, and we want y'all to sing it with us. Raise your voice. I want them to hear this in Atlanta where we're playing tomorrow. And they went on to proceed to play Fuck the Police.
Man.
Dang. Savage.
So that last story I'm going to tell, because I'm dragging this on. This one's just really quick and funny. We were, and my wife's going to kill me for this one. We were Seven Dust was playing at Five Points Music Hall, and my wife was an office person, front door girl, took the money and everything. And so we were there early. I was bar backing that night. We were getting the bars ready. And this was a few hours before the show, and there's this gentleman walking around in the back stage area with his hood up, head down, just walking around. My wife walks up to him and is like, "Excuse me, sir, you're not allowed to be back here. You need to you've got to leave. You can't be here." And he says, "Huh?" He said, "They told me it was fine to be." She's like, "No, who told you that? I don't know who told you that, but you can't be back here." And about this time, I walked through there going to get the next load of beer to go load up the bars, and I overhear her, and I'm like, hey, babe." He says, "What?" I said, "That's the lead singer of Seven Dust. He can," said he can be back here.
He's allowed.
She had never seen Seven Dust in person, was not as familiar with as much rock music as I was at that time. She was trying to kick LaJean Witherspoon out of the venue. All right, I drug that on way too long. Some of these, I had a couple more things left that can be turned into different topics for another time. But we have this week got some unpopular opinions, and let's see where this one's going to go. Steven, what you got for us?
So it hit me this week. I was sitting around thinking, and there are a couple of things, especially with the Christmas holidays coming up. Like, there are some people that see Christmas movies and they're like, no, that movie is terrible. Or like Die Hard. For the most part, I think it's a popular opinion that Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I would think that most people see it as a Christmas movie, but there are some things that are just very unpopular opinions. And typically, if you have an unpopular opinion, people think you're disgusting, you're weird, you're crazy, something of that nature. So some of mine are McDonald's. I think McDonald's is rubbish. I don't consider them food. If I had a list of restaurants, just of all the restaurants ever, McDonald's doesn't make a list of restaurants because it's not food. It's all crap. It's all crap. And I'm sure as a kid, I grew up, I ate their chicken nuggets when my family took me, but McDonald's is just trash. I mean, every time I go, the fries are cardboard and the burgers are.
But the McRib is back.
Yeah, well, that's garbage too. But that's my unpopular opinion. Everything McDonald's makes is trash. I mean, you might like that McRib, but I tell you what, they took that rib out of a homeless man sitting next to the trash can out back. It's not real beef. It's people.
Whoa.
Okay, that is not fact check that. I did not mean that in a joke. But I'm just saying, I don't think McDonald's makes real food. I don't consider them a restaurant. Unpopular opinion is they're nasty. So, I mean, like I said, people might think I'm crazy for it, but it is what it is. And then another one to follow up with is, I forget what year it comes out, but the movie Napoleon Dynamite. I thought that movie was absolute trash.
I'm with you on this one.
And when I say trash, I mean dumpster. I mean, if anybody watched LSU play Alabama, it's the equivalent to LSU playing football right now. Napoleon Dynamite is a terrible, terrible movie. It's cringy to watch. And what made me realize that it's that bad is that I actually went to go. I had friends convince me, "Hey, this is a great movie. I'm going to see it for the second time. You go with us to the theater and watch it with us." I'm like, "All right, cool. I can do this." So I'm sitting there in the theater, and the scene comes up where he's in the classroom and he's got his tots, and she's like, "Hey, can I have some of your tots?" He's like, "No, get your own." And the entire theater is laughing. They think it's funny. And I'm like, anywhere else, if you laugh at somebody who has special needs, you'll be looked at like a jerk. But the whole theater's laughing at this kid with special needs. He acts like he has special needs all movie. I mean, he's acting questionably dumber than Forrest Gump. But people find it funny. So that is probably my unpopular opinion, because I have a whole bunch of friends that say you got to watch it more than once. After the first time, it's really good. That movie is trash to me. Sorry if I hurt your feelings for that, but those are probably my two most unpopular opinions right now. I don't know how I feel about it.
Shoot, man, they're not that unpopular. I follow you on both of those. Every McDonald's I drive by, I wish it would fall down in the rubble.
Yes.
Napoleon Dynamite. I tried to watch it again probably last year or maybe earlier this year.
Yeah.
Friends at work that just love that movie. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not, but they just love it. And I was like, well, maybe when I watched it in high school, it was just like, I just didn't get it, or something. So I watched it again, and no, it's still terrible.
You know what? That's a Daniel movie.
There's funny parts.
Daniel loves that movie.
What?
That's a Daniel movie. I bet Daniel loves that movie.
I don't know if it's. I'm thinking of two other guys, but it's in our same group. But yeah, I just don't. I don't get it either. But for me, I'm gonna go down the band route here for mine. So Nirvana is one I can't stand. That I don't know too many people that agree with my opinion there, but I can't stand them. I don't understand what the lore is. If the guy doesn't die, I think they're trash. I think nobody likes them if the guy doesn't get killed or doesn't die or whatever.
Yeah,
they suck. The Beatles, not a big fan of the Beatles. I appreciate what they did for music and the time that they came through, but I don't enjoy their music other than I like Yesterday and I like Here Comes the Sun. I like those two songs. Other than that, that's garbage. U2, I haven't heard a U2 song in my life that's worth a damn. I don't like them at all. Adele,
it's a beautiful
Adele's
day.
terrible. Man, I could do this for days. Music, and it's funny because Alan's the same way. Alan gets me all the time. Like all the bands I like, Alan hates. So anytime I can take it to Alan on something, it's good. Well, maybe one day I'll pick one that he really likes that I don't like.
I will say this though. Since you ended up going the music route, it did bring something to my attention, and I apologize for completely ruining our podcast. But unpopular opinion, I like Nickelback music.
Oh, no. That's disgusting. We got to find a new co-host. That's inexcusable. That's inexcusable.
That's why it's called an unpopular opinion.
Hey, all right, Steve. Look, I'm gonna have you back here. They're not horrible. Okay,
they're not as bad as the
they have some songs I really like, and they're kind of one of those bands that like the first album or two they had was really good, and then the last few I've heard, which probably the last album I heard from was probably 7 or 8 years ago. But anyway, they had some good songs on it. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I get Alan's point too. But I do like some of their songs.
Not a single good song exists.
I'm in the middle.
Okay, we touching on music, then I'm gonna have to break out my most unpopular opinion, and that is that Guns N' Roses is a steaming pile of dog shit. They are the worst. They are the worst band in the world, and I'll go ahead and explain this crap, man. I hate Guns N' Roses, so I hate Axl Rose. Let me tell you, Guns N' Roses is a glorified cover band that you go see in any average standard bar on Friday nights. Number one, people, do your research. All of their most popular hits are covers. They did not write any of those. They didn't write Paradise City. They didn't write Sweet Child of Mine. They didn't write any of it. If there's your favorite Guns N' Roses song, I guarantee you they did not write it.
Wait a minute. What about Welcome to the Jungle?
Did not write it. I guarantee you your favorite Guns N' Roses song was not written by Guns N' Roses. And that's why they suck. And here's another reason they suck. It's because that whole band just phones it in. They know they're playing off of they got popular off of covers, and that's why the rest of their shit sucks. Because look, the members of Guns N' Roses are capable of writing good music. Go listen to Velvet Revolver, which is 80% of Guns N' Roses with Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots. Velvet Revolver, good band. Guns N' Roses, pure ass. I mean, it sounds like the only thing here that's screwing things up is Axl Rose. And if I was Slash, I would slash Axl Rose's neck.
Yeah, dang.
Anyway.
Oh, Alan.
And Nickelback sucks.
Yeah, that's as bad as my Nirvana. That hits nerves with people that'll get you running for your life.
And my other little one that I touched on slightly earlier is I hate bands that are afraid to push the envelope. I understand as a band you have a certain sound, and we appreciate that. Bands like AC/DC have sounded like AC/DC since their first album. Their new album came out, you hear the first single, you're like, yep, that's AC/DC, but it's not bad. It's good. Angus and the band have a great way of writing. Like, AC/DC writes good music. You hear them, and like the band's good. But then you got bands like Five Finger Death Punch, and Steven can back me up on this one. I was a fan of Five Finger Death Punch. Their first album, solid. Second album, American Capitalist, solid. Third, fourth, fifth albums, all sounded exactly like the first two albums. And I did this test. Steven, do you remember this? I played you like six random Five Finger Death Punch songs. And then I told you that they were all off of different albums. And they all sounded the exact same. Like, people say my music all sounds the same because it's metal and people are screaming and they're basing it off of vocals and not what the guitar's doing. And I get that metal's not for everybody, but Five Finger Death Punch literally has put out the same album now with different lyrics the past 5 albums.
I left one off of mine. I forgot. I hate Shinedown. They're fucking terrible. Oh crap! I dropped that bomb. I'm sorry, but they're awful.
So it seems
I just got into the explicit.
I think I should be the one to address the elephant in the room when I say I think our hot button is bad music.
Yes, and man,
The only Shinedown song that's ever been worth a crap is the Staring Down the Barrel of 45. I think that might have been their first hit, maybe.
yeah, one of their first hits.
Yeah, but other
Or
than
in
that,
your opinion, they're only hit.
And see,
when
here's
they redid Simple Man, I wanted to kill myself.
Mm.
I still do.
I've got pet peeves with bands that get popular off of covers. Not bands that do covers, because I like a lot of covers. But bands that get popular off of covers. Like, here's another example of covers ruining a good band. Limp Bizkit's first album, $3 Bill, was actually a decent album. Hear me
Not
out.
hot by Water.
That was one of their last couple albums. $3 Bill, y'all, was a good album. For the new metal time, you know, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine, all these bands coming out, $3 Bill, y'all, was a solid release. But what was the most popular song on that album? Y'all both know it. What was Limp Bizkit's most popular song when they first came out?
I'm guessing it's not Rollin'. It must have been the other one.
It was Faith. The softest song.
Think about that one.
Yeah, it was Faith, the cover. And it was the softest song on the album. And
I'm
then,
surprised I didn't know that because I know music so well.
And then their second album, Significant Other, comes out. And over half the album is soft. Because their softest song, and I don't blame them for trying to make money, but at least write good shit. You suck. That being
I
said,
will say, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said that being said, Limp Bizkit's still one of those bands that if they came to town, I'd go see them.
Hey, what did y'all think of Disturbed?
Oh God, I'm gonna leave.
No,
Fuck you.
no. Wait a minute. When they covered
Sound of Silence.
And it was horrible.
I liked
Loved it.
I
thought they did a
hate
good job.
Disturbed.
Loved it. But you know what?
Okay, that
If
was
we're
on
gonna
my list of something that I didn't cover. I hate Disturbed because listen, if you don't, I get that you're popular and you don't want to be bothered. But I was at a Disturbed concert once because I got free tickets and I wanted to see the opening band. And before the direct support even went on, we're talking like an hour and a half before Disturbed went on, their bassist is walking the concourse at Oak Mountain Amphitheater. And I saw no fewer than 5 or 6 people right in front of me. Hey, try to shake his hand. You're the bassist from Disturbed, right? Hey, I'm a big fan. And he shook every one of them off, walked away. I'm not him, and just kept moving. Hour and a half later, this dumb sack of shit's on stage in the same clothes he was wearing on the concourse trying to tell people it wasn't him. These are the reason you're up there. The people you just treated like crap are the reason you're on that stage. I lost all respect for Disturbed that night. Fuck.
So I've never seen them interact in person, but I do think the remake of The Sound of Silence was incredible.
Okay,
I really
but hear me out. Hear me out.
I will say this: if we're going to talk about songs that are remade, Five Finger Butt Punch really screwed up House of the Rising Sun. It is literally
hear me out though.
Literally a song about New Orleans, and they took the words New Orleans out of it.
Hear me out though.
Made me want to punch all of them in the face.
Hear me out though.
5 fingers.
The one song that y'all both know by Disturbed is a cover.
Yeah, no,
That's my problem. Right?
You talking about Sound of Silence?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about the hits?
Well, no, a lot of their hits are original. They just aren't good. But
I'll say this though. I understand your Guns N' Roses peeve about how they are capable of writing good music and decided, you know what, we're gonna get famous off of cover music. But at least their covers are really good. Like if you listen to the original Welcome to the Jungle, it's really not as good as the way they covered it. So I can respect the fact that at least they're not doing covers and they're just turning them into dog shit, right? They are making covers and they're improving them. Sometimes it's really hard to turn around and redo a song and it be as good as the original, kind of like movies. Disturbed with Sound of Silence, I think, did an incredible job. I think they might have improved the song. It was a great song, the original, by Simon and Garfunkel, right?
Yeah.
One of the few music things. Yeah. What? But Disturbed actually did a phenomenal job of redoing that song.
Yeah, I don't think they outdid the original, but I thought they did
You got a headache.
excellent job on that cover anyway.
Well, this went off the rails really quick.
Yeah.
Gosh, there was another one that popped up in my head a while ago, and I forgot what it was.
But write it down. I think we took a hard left turn with the music. Let's let Alan get his out.
No.
I don't even know what we're on now. Oh, unpopular opinions.
Yeah. What are your unpopular opinions, Alan, that don't have anything to do with music?
Well, I mean, we can't do that because it's going to bring up God damn it! I hate Christmas. But here's the one thing. Listen, I hate Christmas, but one of my biggest reasons is because of that goddamn Mariah Carey song. She sucks too.
Lord Almighty, forgive us.
I hate Mariah Carey with a fiery passion, and there's another story behind that triggers that makes it even worse, but I don't think it's safe to tell on this podcast. But I hate Mariah Carey so much, and she's ugly, and she can't sing as good as people think she can. It's, oh my God. And if I had,
ugly?
I don't think she's attractive.
Man, she's pretty good looking to be like almost 60 or something.
She had one video where she looked halfway decent to me, and that was Fantasy, where she's on the roller coaster and she's like 21 years old, like when she first started. Like that she looked okay. But I mean, it's looks aside. If I have to hear, I hate that Christmas song she does. I saw a meme the other day that made me crack the hell up. It's this woman goes to a garage and tells the person working on it, "My car keeps making this horrible noise." And the guy says, "Have you tried taking the Mariah Carey Christmas CD out?"
Accurate.
I saw that one too.
Yeah.
I will say that hating Christmas is a pretty unpopular opinion. I wouldn't imagine you can go many places on the planet, and even like people in China are like, "Oh yeah, we love Christmas. Christmas is great."
I will
There aren't many people on
clarify.
the planet who don't like Christmas.
Okay,
Get a nice trumpet.
let me clarify a little bit. Let me clarify. It's gotten better now that I've got a family. It's gotten better because I do want to make sure that my daughter has a happy Christmas, and I don't want my Grinchy ass to rub off on her. That being said, I hate when it piggies back off of something you said last week. I hate what people turn into during this time of year. For the majority of people, it's not about spending time with family. It's about me, shop, shop, shop. Screw your neighbor, screw everybody else. I mean, they don't give two shits about family time. It's the magic of Christmas went away roughly 20 years ago. I mean, is when it started getting bad.
I can tell you exactly when. When Black Friday shopping went from 4 a.m. the next morning after Thanksgiving
To
to
noon.
5 p.m. the day of Thanksgiving, that's when people started being absolutely disgusting. They took the holiday about giving thanks and they took half of it and made it shopping about me, and people just started getting disgusting. And they changed that, what, 10, 15 years ago? I mean, it used to be if you want to go Black Friday shopping, you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you get to the store by 5, and you start shopping. Now, Walmart opens at 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. People aren't even allowed to spend time with their families because they have to be at work. And then not only do they can't be with their families, but they have to turn around and encounter all these ugly, disgusting people for the way that they act on Thanksgiving Day when they should be spending time with their families. We're changing a culture here with the way people act and the way we do things with making money, and it's making people as a culture more disgusting.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's maybe it's just people I hate, not the
Or
holiday
or,
itself. I
or
mean,
Mariah Carey.
I think that's more it.
yeah.
I
I
think people, you don't like the facade that people put up with that they're big,
I
they're
I
into Christmas when really what they're really into is impressing people with the stuff they can put on their house,
right.
the presents they can give, how many presents they can give their brat kids,
Yeah.
or if you got split up family, you got the mom and the dad competing, trying to get their kid the most presents.
And,
It's
and
the whole thing is
Yeah.
just
Well,
is
and that's the thing. So with that being said, like for example, my father right now, he's out of the country. He's taking the end this year and doing his own thing. But you know, for me personally, not everybody's the same. But for me personally, if the 3 or 4 days we get off for Christmas, if I could take one whole day with just my side of the family, if even if we're sitting around and watching the Christmas Day parade or watching Christmas movies the entire time, I'm fine with that. And then taking the next day and spending it with my wife's family, just sitting around cutting up, eating food is all I need.
Right.
And if more people kept that mentality, I mean, heck, just having friends events because as we grow older, we don't get to see all of our friends as often anymore. But it'd be nice to, we see each other every day for work. But if I stopped working where I worked or y'all stopped working where you worked, how often do you think we'd see each other? Do you think we would make it a point to, hey, it's Christmas coming around again. How about you come over? We get some lunch. We hang out and cut up. People need to get back in the mentality and start interacting with people instead of sending texts like, "Oh, hey, I miss you. We need to hang out sometime." Well, that doesn't pay the bill.
Right. I
so in the comments. Why don't you guys tell us what your unpopular opinions are?
yes, definitely.
Please.
Let us know. And any good ones we will bring up next week and see if we can get all of us fired up again. Let's
And I
hear
highly
it.
recommend that if
This
you
is
want some
fun.
fiery
That's where it
chat,
ought to be.
I highly recommend if y'all want some fiery chat, bring up music.
If you
Yeah,
are
this
an
is
audio
a lot
listener,
more like work
if you're an
than
audio
how this
listener,
all started.
if you're an audio listener, make sure you stop by the YouTube page and drop a comment on your unpopular opinion, and let us know. And while you're there, hit that little red button. Remember, we want all the subscribers we can get.
We want to squeeze in a French fry real quick.
No, I think we're gonna let the French fries sit around till next week. I think they'll be good under the heat lamp for another week.
Like McDonald's fries.
That being said, before we wrap this up, I do want to do a little self promotion this week because I know we are starting to spread a little bit, and these guys may kill me later, but Cyberpunk 2077 comes out this week. If you're a video game fan, you know this game has been being looked out for 8 years now, and it is finally coming out. I will actually be streaming this game on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to stop by my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/RTRAllen, 6 p.m. Wednesday night, we will be playing some Cyberpunk. And I will warn you though, if this game, if the creative class is as in depth as they say it is, that whole entire first stream might just be me creating my character. I don't know. It could take an hour just to create the character. But we're going to dive into Cyberpunk, and we're going to be streaming a lot of Cyberpunk. Me and Steven are going to continue to stream Call of Duty. Make sure y'all stop by. Stop by our streams. And we've got links down in the description below. Hit our streams up. Let us know you're fans of the podcast. Stop by the stream and say hey. Y'all got anything else to say this week?
Go ahead, Steven.
Well, I don't have too much, but I don't think it'll be next week, but maybe the week after. We had discussed doing a special Christmas episode where we get together and do a special in the middle of the week instead of dropping our episode on Sunday or Monday morning. So let us know what y'all think. We're probably going to do it regardless, but we'll try and keep it Christmas related, talking about family and all that. For special episode, I think we're talking about doing that the week before Christmas. Christmas is on Friday, 25th. So 2 days before that on Wednesday, we'll probably record the episode earlier, maybe that same day, and we'll drop it Wednesday. So while y'all are traveling, y'all have something to listen to, us being goofy.
Absolutely.
Other than that, we definitely appreciate y'all showing your support, subscribing to us. We enjoy these talks. We have fun. Got a little fiery today talking about music. And this was a lot closer to what we normally talk about at work when it comes to like music, how fiery we get sometimes. That can get pretty entertaining.
Yeah, today was a lot more like what was kind of hoping to get to, I think. So we may have to find some more stuff that pushes our buttons. So
Yeah, this episode is where it went off the rails in all the best ways.
I do have one thing I want to say. Most people that know me personally know that the last 5 years I've been working on getting my graduate degree, and this Wednesday is my last day of school. I turn in my final this coming Wednesday, so I'll get my final tomorrow on Monday, and I have 3 days to turn it in, get it done. So keep me in your thoughts, and
Congratulations, man.
appreciate all the support that my family's given me and everything. It's been a long 5 years, but I'm glad it's finally over, almost over. So appreciate that. Appreciate the support for the show. We can't do it without you guys. We appreciate your input. Make sure you drop your comments in on the topics we talked about. We'll see y'all next week. Rock on.
Peace out.